Welcome back, and we are speaking today with Solveig from the Swedish police working as a UN mission police officer in South Sudan. This is hashtag #SheIPA and Policing TV that collaborate on highlighting women in policing. And the highlight of today is Solveig from the Swedish police. Solveig, in this mission in South Sudan, peacekeeping and human rights is very important. But I would like to speak with you about, well, you got a leadership, what normally would be recognized as a female leadership, but female leadership is a term, but you got a leadership within this mission. But what do you see in the need of female leadership when you look at the country where you are now working in South Sudan?
Yes, this is very difficult because depending on where you are, right now I'm stated in the capital, where of course the level of education is a bit higher. When I arrived to the mission, I was placed in a place called Kuajok. It's way up in the north. And what we saw there was that they do have female police officers, but the needs for the female police officers is totally different than here. Up in Kuajok, we look at people who sometimes can't even read and write. So for us to be able to achieve something, we need to start from the beginning. And we decided, me and a couple of colleagues, to start an ABC class after demands from the female police officers. Because they said if we get those basic knowledges, we can actually read literature or anything that can help us and develop further. So depending on where you are, you will have different possibilities to help them, but it's important that we look at their level to help them on their level to be able to get them higher or further within education or achieving positions within the police.
So in South Sudan, you can be appointed police officer even if you can't read. Yeah. So how do they do the training? Are you aware of what kind of training they are given before they put the uniform on to them?
That is very different and very depending also on where you live. We now had a big graduation for several hundreds of police students that have attended Police Academy here in Juba. They, of course, know how to read and write. Most of them speak very well English. But up in the States, connections might be more important to get a job. And we should not forget that the people who works as police officers here in this country, in many cases, doesn't get any salary. But they are still out there on the streets doing the work with I am so amazed about that, because if I would not get my salary, I would not go to work. Very easy. But they are doing it for their country, for their people. And I'm really, really impressed of that. They have the will. We are just here to give them some more push forward, and they will soon be able to handle this all by themselves.
When you came to this mission and you met these women to begin with, was that's their first wish to get an ABC class, or did they have any other wishes that they wanted you to bring to them?
This was during a meeting, and the first thing they were asking for was a car. And then I asked them, can you drive a car? No. Okay. And then they wanted a sewing machine, and then they wanted something else. And then I told them, okay, even if UN has a lot of money, I will not be able to give you any of those things. But we do have a lot of knowledge. We do have a good education. So me and my colleagues can give you that. We can learn you whatever you want. And then one lady raised her hand and said, yes, I want to be able to write my name. And that is how we came up with the idea to start an ABC class.
Yes. And the ABC training, when you presented this to those that are above you, like your boss in the mission, or he or she, I don't know who your boss is, but when you presented this, how was the support?
The support was good. Initially, it was like, it cannot take focus from anything else, but there is time, so use that time for the ABC class if you want. We did. They received a lot of credit for that from different places. Police commission in the state from South Sudan was happy. And that also gave us the possibility to take chairs that UN was supposed to throw away. We could bring that to the females, so we didn't have to sit on the ground anymore. We were able to take some notebooks and some pens that we could give them so they could practice on writing. And it went to become okay to very positive, and it has been given a lot of attention.
Yes.
So anything that can build their
Yeah.
capacity is welcome.
Yeah. So while they were policing, they were also allowed to take time from their hours, or was this out of normal working hours that you provided the ABC training
In the
to them?
beginning, we had to ask them to come outside their normal working hours, which they did. They started with 10 people. And when I left that place, we were 45, I think, maybe 44 or 46.
Oh, wow.
But when police commissioner saw the engagement, he actually offered us to do it within their working hours. So it was a relief for them as
lovely.
well, because then they could take care about family and so after work.
Yeah. So this could be seen as a success for these 44 women, or did also men join
No,
into the
actually, we
class?
said it's only for females to make it a bit easier
Yes.
and to. It's a different culture here, so we wanted it to be females so that they would feel comfortable and dare to take the place
Yes.
and space that they wanted to take in the class.
Yeah. Yeah. And this was an ongoing thing for your first year, if I understand
Yes, I was
correctly?
only involved in it for 3 months since I was transferred to the capital. But I had lovely colleagues there who helped me in the beginning, and they continued with it for the year that they had. So for 1 year, this class was ongoing.
Yeah. And how many could write their name? Like this woman made a wish about that she wanted to write her own name. How many of them could write their name
The
after
female
1
with the
year?
initial wish, she was able to, and 80% in total of the participants were able to.
Oh, lovely. Congratulations. You've done a different difference to these women, really. I think that is one of the things we basically wouldn't think about when you are a police officer in Sweden, that you need to go and teach your female colleague in another country how to write their own name. I think it's very touching.
But we
It's very
also had to
touching.
learn
Yeah.
that once in a
So
time.
yeah. But with the system of schooling in Sweden, most of us learn very early, even before we start school, that our parents teach us how to do it. But our parents know how to write their names as well. So it's a big difference to end up in a country where you need to have adult education that is actually basic of things. So is this now an implemented course that the UN provide, or was it just a one-off thing that
I don't
happened?
think it's an implemented course, but I have seen that other field officers has done the same. So it will never be an official course because the level of that is too low. But other field officers are following, since they see that the need is there.
Yeah, lovely. So female leadership can lead to empowering other women to write their own name. I think that's a lovely ending of this interview with Solveig from the Swedish police and a UN mission police officer in South Sudan. Thank you very much for coming to us today and share your journey within policing in Sweden, but also your journey for nearly 2 years as a UN police officer. I'm very happy about speaking with you today, Solveig. Well, This is recorded for Policing TV and hashtag She's IPA. And if you would like to see more interviews that is done by the hashtag She's IPA, then I would advise you to visit the website of Policing Insight, policinginsight.com, and then you click on policing.tv and you will find those interviews under something that is called IPA Insight. We got quite a number of interviews by now that you can see, and when you're watching this one, this is one of the episode together with Solveig where she is sharing her life as police officer. Well, you can also receive training within International Police Association, and we got our own training center in Germany, just outside Cologne. And if you'd like to see what seminars that is provided or webinars are provided, I would advise you to look at our website www.ibz-gimbon.de, and there are weekly seminars and there are also webinars. So I do hope that we will provide more of interest in the future. Thank you, Solveig. Thank you for the watchers.